Hey guys, it's me Vishnu Vaka. Today I'm going to start. This is my new podcast. Welcome to my podcast. It's called Mahabharata, narrated by Vishnu Vaka. Who am I? I'm a stand-up comedian. I I moved here when I was 15 to America from India. I read a lot while I was in India, so I understood my culture, where the stories. And then when I moved here, I realized there is a lot of misinformation about my people and my culture in this country, and it bothered me. Back then, I was like, how many people am I going to tell? Um, what am I going to like? How many people am I going to educate? How? But now, thanks to podcast and I could literally bring my culture close to you. And I figured the best way I could do is by telling you this fantastic story called Mahabharata. It is called a Itihasa, story of the land. Mahabharata is story of my land, Bharata. Ba in Bharata stands for Bhavam, which means emotion. Ra in Bharata, the second syllable. Ra stands for Raga or melody. And the third, Tha, stands for Tandava or dance, a country where Bhavam, Ragam, and Tandavam are celebrated. Welcome to Bollywood. Anyways, um, I'm hoping this would kind of give you an idea of what my culture and what my people are like, and bring us all a bit closer. I think that is very important in a multicultural society as ours. I mean, if you know people's cultures, there is a less chance of hatred. I think it makes it easy if we don't know each other. It makes it easy for whoever the people that want to take advantage of us to misinform people and teach hatred. But if we are educated about each other, we know where we are coming from, so there is a less chance of misinformation. So my hope by narrating this wonderful story to you, I hope to give you an insight into my culture, and I'm hoping this would kind of let's start with the story, Mahabharata. It is written by a person named Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa is actually his title because he deciphered Vedas, but his real name is Krishna Dvaipayana. Krishna means dark, the color of water filled clouds, and Dvaipayana means a person that a dweller of an island. So he grew up in an island and he is known as Krishna Dvaipayana because he's dark. That is how what people called him, and that is how he is known as. And later on, he took Vedas. We don't know the origin of Vedas, but it is believed by Hindus that they are left here to us as instruction manuals to survive in this world. So Krishna Dvaipayana took these Vedas and deciphered them into four parts called Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda. After doing that, he wrote this book called Mahabharata, which is actually a story of his descendants. But in that, he incorporated the essence of Vedas. So it is more palatable to regular people who can still utilize the gist of Vedas without having to go through them. And as I said, Mahabharata is a really long story. I mean, if you think about Homer's Iliad, this is 13 times bigger than that. And and luckily this survived because a lot of Indian literature is lost. 80% of literature is destroyed by the invaders. Only they say like only 20% survived. Out of that, there are only couple of versions of Mahabharata that survived. One of them is a Telugu version, which was translated from an earlier Sanskrit version between 11th to 14th centuries by the Kavitrayam, or the three poets. Kavi means three, poet, Trayam means, sorry, Kavi means poet, Trayam means three. Nannaya, Tikkana, and Erra Pragada. For short, Errana. These are the three guys. Nannaya started it. He is the poet in the court of King Rajaraja Narendra in 10th, 11th century. Rajaraja Narendra asked him to translate Mahabharata into Telugu because the earlier copies were gone. And Nannaya took on the task. In 11th century, he finished it. He finished two and a half chapters before he passed away. And then for about a century, nobody touched it. A century later, another poet named Thikkana took up the task in 13th century. He started, but he didn't touch the half part. He started at the third chapter and finished the rest of the story. And the half that was left over hanging, that was finished by Yerra Pragada or Yerrana later on in early 14th century. And I refer to this book mostly because I wanted to get to the source as much as possible. And I can read Telugu, and I wanted to kind of, I trusted those poets and the modern writers. So that's where I went to. So most of it I'm sourcing from there. Um, let's start the story. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there is